Blossom is my current C-drama obsession, and I am so glad that I caught onto the train. I already did a previous podcast, part one, just talking about my initial impressions of the first few episodes I watched. I've watched several more since. I'm about up to episode 19, and I have a lot to talk about, mainly about the epic chemistry between this couple and how much it's reminding me of Duk-soo and Ali. Hi, I'm Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Heart podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas and C-dramas, BTS, and so much more. And I have to get into Blossom again. I am really loving the show. I've been wanting another C-drama to really sink my teeth into since The Double. I love The Double a lot. If you've been paying attention to my podcast at all, I've made that very abundantly clear. But Blossom kind of stands in its own lane, and I'm really happy with the amount of twists and turns that have happened in the episodes. This probably will be getting into some spoilers, so if you haven't watched any of Blossom or you haven't got up to episode 19, 20, then probably tune this out and then come back when you want to debrief with me. I'm going to say right off the bat, the romantic chemistry between Sangwoo and Dao Xiao is just chef kiss. I am living for their tension so much. There's something about the way, even when Sangwoo just kind of enters into Xiao's personal space, like there's a way he advances on her, and it doesn't come off creepy or threatening, despite how ruthless this character can be. But I'm on his side. I'm always on his side, right? There's just something about the way their eyes will kind of linger on one another, and I really love leading up into episode 17, and episode 17 is probably my favorite from the show thus far, even though there has been some really amazing scenes to really flex the chemistry, and they've helped each other a lot. Now they've gotten out of that kind of we're a little distrustful of each other, especially with Sangwoo. He was very intrigued by the female lead, but he also had his distance, but there was always that lingering dream, and I love that the dream and the whole reoccurrence of the past life that's always running through the female lead's mind, that kind of all comes ahead into episode 17 going into 18, with the threat of her really toxic ass family trying to marry her off. I have to say, I know that it's very accurate to the time period and the region, but it grinds my gears. I cannot stand the way majority of the male characters in this show, even the characters that are supposed to be more of the positive protagonist type that I feel that we're supposed to talk about female characters. I understand misogyny is ripe no matter whatever region, and especially in a time period it's accurate, but especially the way they talk about Do Xiao and how rebellious and uncouth and how unladylike she is. She's too sharp-tongued this, she's too conniving that, and that she'll be the downfall of any man and the ruin of his estate if she gets even within 50 yards of them. It's just so grating to hear, and the fifth uncle especially has been a character that has gotten on my last effing nerve. So I just have been so incandescently happy with some of the events that have occurred in episode 17. For one, her father as well has been such a passive character, and he has sat back and watched so much abuse. And since we found out that he cheated on Dao Xiao's mom, and that's how we brought in this really disgusting, nasty stepmother who has been plotting against our girl for the entirety of the show and won't let up. For him finally to step up as a father and say enough, I have been salivating for a scene where finally the stepmother and the fifth uncle get put in their place. Dear God, the way I want him to get backhanded so badly. But I was so happy that the father was finally cognizant of just how manipulative they are and how much political machinations they've been up to, and just how much they have put that entire estate in complete disarray. For him to finally stand up for his daughter and and Dao Xiao, rightfully so, has pretty much written him off up until that point, but you could see just how moved she was by him taking a stand and saying, "Shut up. Like, I have sat back and I've let you guys get away with absolute murder in here. Enough's enough. That made me so damn happy. But I have to get back into the chemistry, the romantic chemistry, and the way it builds. It is so satisfying. It actually does remind me a lot of the dynamic in The Double, but not. Hear me out. I feel like there is like a slight combination of Duke Soo and Ling Bu Yi in Sangmo. Even though he's his own character in his own right, and yes, I want to give the actor his flowers, he has created this own hype around this general archetype character that's like everybody's husband right now, but I feel like he's a good combination of both. He has that ruthless edge to him, and you know that he can handle himself in a fight, and he can be downright scary when need be. And there was scenes like earlier in the show too when, you know, Dao Xiao, she was captured and she was thrown into prison, and he comes in, and there's for a split second she thinks that Sangwoo's actually going to torture her. The level of sexual tension but also fear emanating was so good. But I feel like he's just like a great mix of those two characters, but he has like this charming sense of humor and the kind of funny back and forth with his own guards and his own, you know, military base as well, like Duke Soo. Like Duke Soo had like a sense of humor. He had a little bit of flair to him when the occasion called for it. So I think that this character is a great melt of both of those, and those both happen to be my favorite general characters, of course. Ling Bu Yi, Duke Soo, like, I get my life. So I really enjoy Sangmo and his entire presence and how he is in this current life that Do Xiao is going through. But their romantic chemistry is just phenomenal. Episode 17 in particular as well, there's a scene where he's confronting her and he's essentially telling her in so many words that he likes her, and that he is subtly putting it out there that he wants to solidify this relationship and turn it into something potentially like marriage. And because Dao Xiao has all the information that she has from the past life, and she has that book, that text that foretells all the events, and she's so scared that despite her feelings for him, her getting into a relationship with him may still end up tragically for the both of them. So she's been resisting him. But that scene where he gets up from the table and he's like looming over her when she insists that she doesn't like him like that, she has no interest in marriage, and that he shouldn't even bother broaching that. The way he got up, and you can feel like the air shift, and he just looks right in her eyes, and you can just see her panicking because she's like, oh my god, he can read everyone like a book. Like, he's a military strategist. He's so incredibly good at picking up at body language. There's no way I'm going to be able to hide this. And he just like flat out blanked her face, said, yeah, you're lying. You do like me. Oh! I loved it so much. I was like, oh, the chemistry. I was like, oh, he is so sexy. I can't stand it. And I thought I was going to lose the interest because the gray hair wasn't there. And let me tell you, the actor really rocks the gray hair lace front, let me tell you. But I was like, I was beside myself. I was like, oh my God, girl, you marry him right now. Right now. I was so good. And this is what I love about the show. I'm now at the point past episode 18 where it looks like they are going to get married. And the entire sequence of episode 18 and her finally coming to the decision that despite what she knows of what the future could hold for them, she now has a confidence that even if destiny doesn't change, she should still pursue this relationship together because she knows how much he deeply cares for her and loves for her, and that she'll be able to be her free, independent self and still get to explore the world and still get to live the life that she didn't get to in the previous past life. But everything about episode 18, I adored it. Him saying, leave like a white tassel in the magnolia tree in your estate if you're not interested in me, and I will see it from afar, and if you hang a red tassel in the magnolia tree, then I know that you've accepted my proposal, and then we can try this marriage thing. And for the following scene, for there to be these random kids playing close to her yard, and then they fly this white kite and it lands in the tree, and she's panicking. She's like, no, you gotta get it down. You gotta get it down. And she's like, no, he can't see that. No, I'm not gonna mess this up. No, I need him to know that I actually am interested. And then the whole entire fire and her being scared, her running in and dashing into that burning home, wanting to come and swoop to save him, only for the last second for him to emerge from the embers of the flames and swoop her up and pick her up, and all the love declaration that was going on between the two of them, her saying, I am not going to be the perfect wife for you, I still want to explore the world, and him essentially reassuring her that no, I will still allow you to be you. I'm just going to be someone that is going to protect you. And then you see all the red blossoms kind of flutter through the scene, and you hear the swelling of the music. It was just all so gorgeous. I love that the blossoms represent her and how resilient she can be, and how even with the ground being fertile and them being able to blossom, she's able to grow and continue to thrive on her own, but with extra help here and there, and the care and the protection and the overseeing of Sangwoo, she can continue to thrive and be that much better. I just think the show is such a great ride. I'm really, really enjoying myself, and I'm a little scared because now I'm entering into episode 19, 20, where the marriage is going to take place, and I know that it's not going to be smooth sailing. There's got to be something that's going to be cooking. The fifth uncle is going to do something shady. The stepmother just can't seem to sit the fuck down and leave people alone. So I'm already frightened that I'm just going to end up being really pissed off. But I'm telling you, if you haven't jumped on the train of Blossom yet, and you listen to this very spoiler-filled podcast and are still scratching your head wondering if you should jump in. The show is worth it. It is so good. I love it, and I know I'm going to do another episode about it. Let me know your thoughts if you're watching the video format of this podcast via YouTube down in the comment section below. Did you finish Blossom already? Am I really left behind and everybody else has finished the show and moved on, kind of thing? I'm still there. I'm still marinating. I'm still exhilarating in it. Is that even a word? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to marinate, and I'm just trying to enjoy it and taste it and, savor it. Luxuriate in it. That's what I was looking for. That's the word. If you're listening via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I really appreciate you as well, and I think you can interact on those platforms as well, and let me know your thoughts as well. Till the next episode, I believe I'm going to be doing a podcast very soon, almost imminently, about my favorite C-drama couples with the absolute best chemistry that I've seen this year. Definitely look out for it. It's going to drop very, very soon.